Hello, everyone, and welcome to Voice Up for the Voiceless. We are a podcast that is dedicated to those that have experienced child sexual abuse, as well as their supporters and everyone that is involved in this process of healing. And today we are so excited to have a show for you and talk about something that is very important and is on our hearts. And if I have not ever met you before, my name is Christa Marshall, and
I'm Angela Williams, and I'm so glad that you've tuned in with us, and so glad to have Christa on this journey with me. We are working so hard to bring hope and healing to survivors, and we're working so hard to break the silence and to give a voice, and therefore voice up for the voiceless. So I'm excited about our show today. It's a big topic, may go into several shows, but it's probably one of my favorite topics.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Really? And as we get in it, I'll tell you why. But today, guys, we're talking about resilience and perseverance. And they are two big words. And why don't you hit perseverance, and then I'll talk about resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what we're going to do is just define them so we know what we're talking about. So sometimes we hear words and it's just part of our vocabulary, but if we kind of dig into the definition, it helps us a little bit in understanding kind of what we're talking about even more. So perseverance, the definition of perseverance is that relentless forward motion, continuing to work towards your goals despite difficulties, failure, or delay. It's grit. It's consistency. It's staying the course even when the road gets tough.
I love that. Yep. I have persevered through so much in my life, and I think being a person of grit is a high calling. Yeah. God calls us to persevere, even in our pain, even in our struggles. So resilience is that ability to bounce back, but I will read the formal definition. It's the ability to bounce back, to recover from setbacks, to adapt to change, and to keep going stronger. It's not just surviving hardship, it's growing because of it. Both are essential. One helps you push through, the other helps you get back up.
Wow.
So let's unpack this.
Yeah, let's go ahead into it. And I know that when I was kind of looking over some topics for us, I'm going to be honest, I thought about you. Because again, and this is no shade of your age, I think it's beautiful. At 60 years old, how much you've persevered and how you've pressed through and how you've been resilient from every single thing that has come your way to try to bring you down. I literally thought about you. And so I was like, this is going to be a great show because I think that there's so much that you have to contribute to this topic. So I feel like I just want to sit and listen to you talk. I know I can't.
Well, I think I'm the poster child for perseverance. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
But for you survivors that are tuning in, really it's putting one foot in front of the other, even if you don't feel like it. It's just keep going. Put that foot in front of the other. And it's really something else too that I've done is making the next right decision that leads to your destiny.
So being destiny focused.
Where do I want my life to go? Because we lose sort of our true north or compass when we've been abused. We've had lies spoken over us. We've believed lies. We've struggled, most of us, with relationships. We've struggled with trust. We've struggled with all that. So to me, putting that foot in front of the other to get in the right direction, where's your end point? Where do you want to be? I knew I wanted down the road, I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have a happy family. So that was my number one goal. So what decision do I have to make today to get to that goal?
Right.
So that persevering, and we're all, even without trauma, people have tough stuff to deal with, but add on that trauma and it's hard to persevere, but you have already persevered. You have already been resilient in what you've gone through because you are alive. You're listening to us.
Yeah. And one of those things that kind of what you're saying when it comes to perseverance and resilience, like you're saying, put your foot in front of the other. But what do you do when you just feel like you physically can't? When you feel like the only thing that you know is just to put your hands up and quit. How do you learn perseverance? Where does that come from? Do you understand what I'm asking?
And I think too, it's okay to put your hands up and quit. It's okay to rest for a day, but the next day you got to get up.
Gotcha.
Healing is exhausting work. It's exhausting. Do y'all agree? It's hard. It's hard.
Absolutely.
Like, give me a thumbs up if you agree.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
So if you can't get out of bed that day, if you can't, it's okay.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to rest or to just pull the covers over your head for a day, but don't let it last.
Yeah.
Persevering is getting up the next day. It's like, okay, I gave myself my little pity party yesterday, pull my covers over my head. But today I've got to get up and I've got to persevere through this. I got to get through this. Yeah. And there's always a way. There's always a way through it.
Yeah, there is.
You know, our obstacles are going to come, obstacles going to go. I say money comes, money goes. I say relationships come, relationships go. But you got to get up and you got to do what's good for you and what's good for your family and what honors God.
Yeah. And I actually have a personal story about that. So thank you kind of for just saying you do have an opportunity to just kind of quit for a second. So when I was going through everything with my daughter and trying to get her set free from the abuse and the court and everything that was coming, I remember it was just me and her at the time. And she was at school. And I had gotten a call from an attorney, because I had missed a court date that I had no idea there was a court date. There was an emergency hearing and I wasn't told about it. And so when I got a phone call from a judge, because they were in court and I didn't know, it was a whole different state. I had been fighting months and months and months to make sure she didn't go back to the sexual abuse, doing everything that I knew to do, but they had done some underhanded things to make sure that I wasn't at the court date. I hear that and I broke down. I had been fighting so hard and I'm like, but still I'm not doing everything right. I was done. I remember walking into my apartment. Again, like I said, my daughter was at school and I just felt depleted. And I don't know if you know that feeling, drained, depleted. Like I felt like if I took another step, I was dead. Like I knew at that moment my soul had officially left my body and I was dead because I had given everything that I knew to give. So I opened my apartment door and bam, I just fall on the door. And so the apartment complex that I lived in, it was like a mid-rise, high-rise apartment. And so in between the hallway that was inside in my apartment, I was just laying between the doors, just laid there. And it's kind of funny looking back. At the moment, it wasn't. And I was dead. I knew I was dead. I was like, well, I'm done. God, you can take me now. And I'm thinking this, but I'm crying. And it was just heavy. And I remember God speaking to my spirit and saying, okay, you can give up. But then what? Like, give up now or you keep fighting. And he spoke to my spirit at that moment that I knew that if I gave up, like I could literally be done if I wanted to, but I had to persevere and I had to push through and I had to fight. And I didn't know 15 years ago that that was going to mean that now we were going to help thousands of people that have gone through the same thing. So perseverance looked like something that I had no idea what that outcome was going to be. But I knew at that moment, if I would have laid there, I could have given up. Or I could have taken a breath, taken a beat, taken a couple of days, gotten some food, some nutrients, some rest, but going right back. And guess what? That's what I chose to do. But God spoke to my spirit in that moment.
He meets us in our place of desperation. And it sounds like you were just in a place of desperation. And sometimes you don't know how to persevere.
You don't.
And you asked me where that comes from. Persevering comes from God. Taking that next step, that strength comes from God. And it's nothing we can do. And I certainly haven't persevered my whole life because I was at suicide's door. Knocking on it, trying to take my own life. And that doesn't show perseverance. It shows giving up.
Because you're here.
But I'm here because God, you know, God had a purpose. God had a plan that never in a million years would I had thought that I'd be sitting here at age 60 when I tried to take my life at 17. But fast forward, and I have a beautiful husband, 40 years of marriage, 2 beautiful children, 3 beautiful grandchildren. Like God knew my future, but I didn't know my future. So persevering is sometimes just saying, God, I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn. I don't know. You have to show me. And just giving it all to him, giving your heart to him and saying, please, God, I need a miracle. I need you to show up. And he will. He hears our cries of our heart.
He always does.
He will.
You really will. So, and that kind of translates a little bit into kind of what I wanted to go into about like people that we know that have resilience, that have persevered, that maybe we look up to or that are kind of involved in, I mean, the first person on my list is you. Like that's again, one of those things that like Angela, from afar, I've watched you push. I've watched you fight. I've watched you just keep going. And that I feel like when you've gone through sexual abuse and gone through some of the things that you've gone through and some of the other people that we might talk about, there's a different level of resilience that most people that have not gone through this, they don't have it.
No, and that is, if there is some positive or some, light at the end of the rainbow, it is resilience. Any survivor I have ever met is the most resilient person in the world. All of them.
Yes.
You listening are the most resilient person in the world because you went through this and you're taking your steps toward healing, and you will get to your healing place. And resilience is how you bounce back, how you get back up. We're all going to fail. Failure is a part of life. Like you can't go through this life and not experience failure.
Right.
Like you can't knock it out of the park every time you get up to bat. So I think for survivors, we beat ourselves up when we fail, and not understanding it's a part of growing. It's a part of living. It's a part of life. Like you gotta fail. You gotta learn from your mistakes.
Yes, yeah. And I see that resilience translates also in business a lot of times, and in your area of expertise, like people that have gone through stuff, they have a different level of grit to where they can be probably one of the more successful people that you're going to see in whatever that area of influence is.
I'm called in the real estate business a bulldog, but I am. I sink my teeth into something and I don't let it go until it closes.
Yes. But so now you see why you're number one on my list, right? But and I also have personal relationship, but that's one of those things that
you see me in action because I represented you.
You did. I was like, I'm going to do that one day. But
it's fun.
I do think though that like, again, with that is that you will be very successful if you translate that resilience into the area of expertise that you have. And like you said, that is one of those beautiful things that can come out. It's one of the ashes that God turns into beauty is your resilience, but then also the perseverance and the fight and the grit that you have in order to be successful in your area.
And survivors have a unique ability to compartmentalize because of what we've gone through. I was abused in the morning before I went to school. So I had to put that abuse in a compartment and go face my school day and all that brought, and then compartmentalize my emotions. And then, so it's not always a great thing, but I think as I get older, I'm able to shift, to do a lot of different things. And I think that's one of those things that I learned at a very young age, to put things in different compartments in my brain.
Wow.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but
it works.
It works.
Yeah, and I think that there's some absolute good in that though, because I know that there's times where, I don't know if you've ever gone to work or whoever's listening has gone to work and you see the person that has gone through something as soon as before they get there, it's followed their whole day. So it had a staple in their whole day. So there is something good about compartmentalizing and being able to understand at that moment what's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's like I can't deal with that pain right now. I can't deal with that abuse right now. I have to deal with my math test.
Yes.
What's ahead of me? And I want to do really good on this math test because I want to get out of this house and go be successful in real estate.
Yeah, there you go.
I think people who, and resilience grows, perseverance grows. It's like that muscle you practice. So the more you persevere, the easier it gets. The more you practice resilience, the more you bounce back, the easier it gets. The more times you fall down, the easier it is to get back up. Does that make sense?
Completely. So, but yeah, and so that's probably kind of going back to what we were saying is that, number one would be, for instance, for you, because I have just seen it firsthand, how you've come back and kept going and come back and kept going. The books that you've written, the things that you've accomplished, the relationships that you have with your children and your grandchildren, your marriage, like that's fruit of resilience. That's fruit of being able to persevere and fight for what you desire in your life. which
Well,
is
let's face it, resilience is hard.
Mm-hmm.
Giving up is easy.
Yeah.
Giving up
Yeah.
is easy. We all have that choice.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to choose to put that foot in front of the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because, as I said, every decision you make leads to your destiny. And God has a great plan for your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
God knows you intimately.
Mm-hmm.
You're here not by accident,
Mm-hmm.
but for a purpose
Mm-hmm.
and a reason.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to put that foot in front of the other to get to our destiny of what God has created our life to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Amen.
Amen. I was going to say we need to pass down the offering thing for you.
I said offering plate.
Yes. So kind of transitioning, one of the things that we were talking about is like, how do you build it? How do you build perseverance? You kind of stepped into that a little bit, but how do you build perseverance and resilience? And there is a couple of things that we have here, 5 things that we can kind of talk about. And I can go into the first one as we go in there is strengthening these muscles. Number 1 would be to shift your mindset. So start seeing failure as feedback, not a stop sign. And I think that's kind of what you were saying as you were talking about some of the things that you were going through is that actually, you know what, like this isn't the end all be all. I'm not the worst person. Like, let me figure out how to grow from this. So I think
I had to
that's
learn
something.
that because I really would beat myself up in failure.
Wow.
Yeah. I never wanted to fail because I think through the abuse, you lose your value. And then I wanted to build my value in success, in succeeding, in excelling. So I had to really learn that valuable lesson that it's a failure is a stop sign. It's not the end of the world. And that's really hard to
Yes.
to overcome.
Yeah. And so number 2, the thing that we want to say is break things down. So sometimes big goals can feel super overwhelming. So break them down into daily manageable actions. And it's easier to persevere when the next step doesn't feel like you're climbing Mount Everest is what it says there. And one of the things that like I know that I talk to even with some of my clients is just to make a list because sometimes when it's just in your head, it can feel so overwhelming. So if you make a list, break it down into day by day, then it's okay to kind of take the small chunks.
I don't know if this is helpful for anyone, but I'll kind of share what I do. Kind of going back to the failure piece is when I get afraid of failing something that I'm trying to accomplish, I go to the very kind of end. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yes.
You know? What is the worst thing that can happen? And then I'd look at that and I think, well, that's not so bad.
not so bad.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
If that's the worst thing that's going to happen,
Yep.
then I can deal with that.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Completely. I do that too.
So talk about breaking things down into
Yes.
little bite-sized pieces.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
I'll tackle the next one.
Okay.
Take care of your body and mind. Resilience isn't just mental. It's sleep, nutrition, and emotional regulation play a huge role. You can bounce back. You can't bounce back if you're running on empty. And we say this all the time. You've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself before you can help anybody else.
yeah. So definitely taking care of your whole being. And that even includes walking through healing, going to therapy, doing everything that you can, because sometimes even the way that we see things can be skewed based on the trauma that we've experienced. So it is definitely taking care of yourself holistically. So,
And I say I fail at that. I don't do a great job. I have got to get back on an exercise regimen.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Okay.
I think it helps regulate your stress level.
Yes.
It definitely helps with your hormones and your cortisol and your dopamine and all those good, hormones that help keep your body healthy and your weight,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So
You need to burn some more calories, especially after vacation. Build a support system. This is a really good one. People that have been resilient. Everybody needs a mentor in their life. And if you don't have a mentor, I mean, it's really important that you have somebody that you can trust and you have somebody that you trust their input. When they speak into your life, you trust the words that they're speaking. Does that make sense?
Completely. Having a mentor is what's really helped me throughout my whole life in every aspect of me in this walk. I've had somebody there with me holding my hand.
I think mentors can be honest with you too.
Yes.
And you accept, not everyone, you really accept what they're saying, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I always like to look at the fruit of someone's life and
Yeah.
then kind of judge, okay, should I accept that advice or not?
Absolutely.
But having a mentor that knows you intimately
Yes.
and knows your life.
Yeah, and you can
and
humbly
know how
take
you're
what they're
wired.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
All right. And the last one, and this one we have to celebrate small wins. Every win counts. And I don't think we stop and celebrate enough.
no.
And it could be you got up, you got dressed, you got through the day. That showed resilience.
Yeah.
And you should celebrate that at the end of the day.
Absolutely. I even teach my kids that. Like they started school last week. They had a good day at school. I'm like, okay, let's go get in the car. Let's go get a drink. And we'll go get stuff like,
Bubble tea?
Yes.
Have they discovered bubble tea yet?
Oh, yes, they have. Yes, they have. But like, just for them to just be like, you know what? Okay, it's okay to celebrate the small things. You know what? Let's go get a tea or let's go to the park. Let's just do something just to say, good job, because it is so important to celebrate the small things as well as the big things. Like life, again, is too short to not. So, yeah. Yep. So,
all right. Personal reflection.
yes. And so I guess I can just go into this a little bit, but just a moment of reflection and kind of taking time to think back for a time in your life where you wanted to give up. I kind of shared that time where I was laying out on the floor and I just wanted to give up in that moment. And then like it says here, that everything felt heavy. It felt heavy. It was beyond heavy. It took me out. It tried to take me out, but that was one of the things that I knew that in that moment I pushed through. So if our listeners, and then if you want to share a moment where you just took everything out of you, so you thought, but yet you pushed through. And that's such a marker of what God has for you in the future of your life. Like that wasn't a stopping point. Like if the enemy could have taken me out at that moment, if he had the legal right to do that, it would have been done. But guess what? He didn't.
Well, if you're just tuning in for the first time, or maybe you follow our podcast and listen, you know that I went through many, many years of abuse, 14 years. And the night that I ran away, I was a teenager and I tried to commit suicide. And so I took 64 sleeping pills and drank a half a bottle of vodka straight. And that was my lowest point of my life, but God. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I witnessed a miracle and God saved me.
Yeah.
And I have tried every day to not take that for granted, not take that miracle for granted. And so I think part of my persevering, part of my resilience is honoring God that he saved me. Thank you, Jesus. Because I wouldn't have experienced the life and, as you said, been able to help survivors along the way and do the work that I've done. And it has been, I guess, one of my greatest honors to sit with a survivor and see the progress and to get notes and emails and text and just how our ministry has helped other people to heal.
Wow. Well, thank you.
It's been a beautiful thing.
Sharing. It has been. So, all right. Well, any other last words that you want to leave?
How do we land this plane?
Yes.
I just love that you noted in our show notes that you had noted all the wonderful people that had persevered through their pain.
Yeah.
And there's so many of them. It's like I was feeling, oh, yeah, they're a survivor too. But just to name some, Joyce Meyer, look what God has done with her testimony and her ministry.
Yes.
And I even know that her abuser was her stepfather also, or her father. It was her biological father. And she actually helped take care of him when he was old dying.
I know.
And
didn't she buy them a house?
I think she did.
Yeah.
That took a lot. And then,
Yes.
of course, Beth Moore and the beautiful work that she's done through her studies that have gone around the world. And
Lisa Turkhurst, which is
Kane.
amazing. Yes. Kirk Franklin even, which I didn't know that he had gone through sexual abuse. So
God has a purpose in your pain. It's hard to see it sometimes, but being resilient and persevering through this pain and through this journey of healing, God's going to show you how he wants to use your testimony and your story as he's used ours.
Absolutely. So, all right. I think we're good.
Yeah.
For now, we might have to come back to this one.
So if you have any questions on perseverance or resilience, we'll be happy to answer them. You can reach Christa or I at Voice Up For You. That's FORYOU, voiceupforyou @gmail.com. or you can comment below. We're so grateful that you've tuned in and that you support our podcast, and so grateful for Mesmerized Media for making this possible. So until next week, I am Angela Williams.
And I am Christa Marshall, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.